Welcome back to our middle of the season pick'em for CDL. Peterson, you haven't faded just yet. But I guess that is because you keep copying my sheet. Yes sir, that's how I roll. Let's get this going. New England hosts Chicago. Very good matchup on paper, and probably the stiffest test yet for the powerhouse Patriots. Can the Bears D contain the almighty Steve Young? Can New England keep the good pace up with average running backs? A late turnover by Chicago QB Mark Brunell propels the Patriots into the win column. New England 24-14. Great game to start off this week. I think this is going to be a battle of the secondary. The Pats have the better all-around secondary and going with them 24-17. Tampa Bay travels to New York in our next game. The Jets are playing good football, keeping pace with the Patriots. Both teams have just one blemish on their record. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, currently sits one game under 500 at 1-2. I just don't think Super DB Doug Evans is enough to stop the big boys in CDL. Jets win 22-10. I see this game being closer than expected with the wide receiver core of the Bucs doing work. However, I'm still going Jets 17-14. Next we got the Chargers heading to Detroit. This game should be out of reach by halftime. Eddie George is going to be a pain in the butt for Washington. GM Chargers roll 35-7. I agree. To put it blatantly, San Diego will run all over Detroit. Lefty might even be able to put up 50 points in this game. Washington GM is looking in good shape for an early draft pick next season. Chargers roll 35-7. New York Giants hosts the Jags. Peterson, you now know firsthand what kind of game E4 plays. Suffocating DK Cedric will find out soon that the G-men are 5-0 for a reason. Not luck. Giants cruise 28-0. Yet E4 is nasty. It is his offense that can be even worse though. E4 will light up the scoreboard 35-0 Giants. Seattle hosting the Steelers in our next matchup. Big Flu should get out of his slump here. I think Jamal and Rod God will be a devastating duo Stout won't be able to deal with. Steelers 24-10. This is a pretty tight game on paper. I think it comes down to the wire, but I will lean towards Pitt right now as Big Flu has to snap out of his 2 or 3 game slide. Steelers get by 22-14. Bengals go on the road to the dark hole in LA. The Raiders started out of the gates strong, winning their first game. Since then, however, the Raiders have dropped 4 straight. Al Davis is not pleased, but this was to be expected from the rebuilding Raiders. John Elway has a great game for the Bengals and leads his team to a 21-7 victory. Well, the way things started for the Raiders is where Hank is picking up now. With his first win of the season, after devastating losses, he looks to turn the table. I agree. He will get his second win behind the gunslinger Elway 17-10, the Lone Star State Showdown. Gats has called his shots. He will run through the playoffs and pick up another piece of hardware to add to his Tecmo shrine. So he thinks. Plenty of season left, and even though Gats is undefeated, this should be a great matchup. I've gotten to play the cynical Gats a lot lately as we have faced each other for a few titles this year. So having said that, Houston will give Dallas their first L of the season. Houston wins the Lone Star Showdown, 24-17. This is going to be a great game. I also think Gats will receive his first loss. This should be tight the whole game. TD should get her done for the Oilers here 21-17. Browns head to Carolina. Crushing. Nuff said. Browns big 28-3. Carolina or Cleveland? On one hand, we have the worst player ever, you Peterson. On the other, a proven vet who can pawn rookies like yourself. Advantage Browns. Brownies win 28-14. Miami took care of San Diego last week. Now the Finns get to finish off another Vogue. Chris and his Skins come down to South Beach to party, but traveling back to DC they will be recovering from a 31-10 beatdown that Opus hands him. I'm going to agree here, Finns win. However, I see it being a little closer. Everything relies on the boss to do work. I'm going Finns 28-17. Finally our big finish. We have Atlanta hosting the Broncos. Denver definitely comes in on a high note. The Broncos are 4-2 and have already made reservations for the postseason. They better not pack their bags just yet, as we are only halfway through the season. Atlanta has had some heartbreaks over the first half and look to rebound. They do in big fashion. Atlanta 28-21. Can the Falcons turn it up here? I think they can, but I don't think it will be enough. It should be a fight until the end. Somehow I see Shock pulling it off 24-21. Well, we hit the halfway point. Join us again next week when we dissect the CTL World Mu 1. For Lightning Larry, this is Peterson. Peace.